I took out my blue pen and wrote, "Hope was here," in tiny letters on one of the boards. Hope is my name. Whenever I leave a place, I write this real small someplace significant, just to make the statement that I'd been there and made an impact. I've never defaced anything, never carved it into a tree or painted it on a sidewalk or a street sign. I wrote, "Hope was here," in half-inch tall letters above the rotating dessert case at the Ballyhoo Grill back in South Carolina before we moved to New York. It's one of the ways I say goodbye to a place. I've had tons of practice doing that. "I'm ready," I said. Addie squared her shoulders. "Let's do it." We walked across the street to the old Buick that was packed to the hilt with everything we owned and had a U-Haul trailer chained to the back. It was May 26. We were heading to Mulhoney, Wisconsin, to start work in a diner there that needed a professional manager and cook. Addie was short on waitresses, me, and was giving us an apartment. The man we were going to work for had been diagnosed with leukemia and needed help fast. I don't mean to sound ungenerous, but working for a close-to-dying man didn't sound like a great career move to me. I had to leave school right before the end of my undistinguished sophomore year, too. I hate leaving places I love. We were about to get into the car just as Morty the cab driver double-parked his yellow taxi. Good old Morty. The first time I waited on him, he unloosened his belt a notch before he even looked at the menu. I knew I had a true believer. I raised my hand to a great tipper. "You always took care of me, kid." He shouted this from across the street as a UPS truck started honking at him to move his cab. "I tried, Morty." "Wherever you go, you'll do okay. You got heart." The UPS driver screamed something heartless at Morty, who screamed back, "Watch your mouth, big man in a brown truck." I didn't know what kind of customers I'd get in Wisconsin. Miriam Leahy, one of my two best friends, had given me a New York Forever t-shirt as a goodbye present and said solemnly, "There's a lot of cheese where you're going, Hope. I'm not sure how this affects people long term. Wear this shirt and remember who you are." Miriam straightened her faux leopard vest, flipped back the 5 earrings dangling from her right lobe, and hugged me hard. We got in the car. Addie started it up. "On to greener pastures," she said, and drove the Buick forward. It groaned with the weight of the U-Haul as we headed down Atlantic Avenue, the best place I've ever known in my whole life. She grabbed my hand and gave it a squeeze. Addie never promised that life would be easy, but she did promise that if I hung with her, the food would be good. Believe me when I tell you, I know about survival. I was born too early and much too small, 2 pounds and 5 ounces. For the first month of my life, I kept gasping for air, like I couldn't get the hang of breathing. I couldn't eat either, couldn't suck a bottle. The doctors didn't think I would make it. Shows what they know. My mother didn't want the responsibility of a baby, so she left me with Addie, her older sister, and went off to live her own life. I've seen her exactly 3 times since I was born, when she visited on my 5th, 8th, and 13th birthdays. Each time she talked about being a waitress. What made a good one? Great hands and personality. What were the pitfalls? Crazed cooks and being on your feet all day. What was the biggest tip she ever got? $300 from a plumber who had just won the instant lottery. Each time she told me, "Hon, leaving you with Addie was the best thing I could have done for you. You need constance in your life." She had a different hair color each time she said it. Addie's been my #1 constant. She stood by me in the hospital at my little oxygen tent, telling me to come on and get strong. The doctors told her to give up, but giving up isn't Addie's way. She'd wanted a baby all her life, and after 3 miscarriages and her no-good husband Malcolm deserting her for that thin-lipped dental hygienist, I was her last chance at motherhood. So I guess I pulled through because somehow I knew Addie needed me. Because of this, I don't buy into traditional roles. My favorite book when I was little had pictures of baby animals, like foxes and lambs and ducklings, who were being raised by other animals.